Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fun Side of Business podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Hampton, and I'm joined by
Gemma Addison. Morning, Nick.
Morning, Gem. So, how do we introduce?
I have no idea where to start with this one.
Today's guest. So this is the guest I've been very, 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 very excited to get on, and only because I think the route he's taken, I don't think many people would kind of quite make sense of it. Just because you kind of think from A to B doesn't feel like a sensible journey.
Yeah.
But here we go. Without any further ado, we are going to introduce you to financial advisor extraordinaire, James Roper.
What an intro.
Good morning. Yeah, no, how do we go? How do we get up from there?
We can't. That's it. We've reached the peak now. It's all downhill from here. So, okay, let's go along and start getting this together. So James is a financial advisor for St James's Place.
I am a financial advisor for JWR Financial Solutions.
Okay.
And I'm an associate partner of St James's Place.
Did you hear? I just got literally put down. It's like,
yes.
Yeah, listen,
No,
buddy.
Nick, can you get your facts correct?
No,
I wish I was on a St James's Place wage. I probably run my own business wage. Yeah.
Okay, so James, what we like to do is we like to really understand a bit more about you, the person, and the interesting and exciting and whatever parts about you. Now, for me, from local, what have you, I've met James. He can be a bit of a cheeky chappy.
No, really?
Yeah, a bit of a cheeky chappy. However, so you kind of go, look, he's a nice down-to-earth guy for what people, I think, presume St James Place's connected people are. However, then I heard he started at Westbourne, which I know, Jen, is like is dear to your heart as well.
That was worse than Stoke, so yeah.
Yeah, shout out to IB1.
So, okay, James, so what we want to do is we want to take you, normally what we do with our guests is we take them from like leaving high school to where they are.
Yeah. Okay.
But actually for you, I want to go back a little bit further. Okay. And I want to go a little bit further because you mentioned something to me yesterday when we were just having a pre-podcast chat about maybe you weren't the best behaved at school.
We're going right in now.
We are. I mean, I've got to be careful because I'm sure Mum and Dad will listen to this and they only know half of it. So. Yeah, where do we start? So I went to Westbourne, as you've already touched on. Funnily enough, first week of being there, my form tutor pulled Mum and Dad into the office and just said, take him out of it, put him in a private school.
The first week?
Yeah, to which not because I was naughty in my first week, but I think she kind of saw that I might have done better elsewhere.
Yes.
To which I said, no, not happening. And to my dad's credit, he said, no, I want him to go to a public school.
Yeah.
Which I'm very grateful for. I think you kind of learn some life lessons at a school like that.
Indeed.
You might not learn.
Especially at Westbourne.
Yeah, exactly that. So,
rolling cigarettes from age 12.
Yeah, well, so funnily enough, it's funny because I now go to Henley Road Gym, which is where we obviously know Helen and those guys. And my old head of year goes there every morning, so I bump into him quite regularly. And just last week we were talking, he's just hit, I think, 70. I might be doing him a disservice there, but we were talking about the time that I walked to school, came into the form room, and on the whiteboard there was a big sign that said, I will not hide behind a C3 bus, so shelter and smoke. I obviously thought I was invisible, and I wasn't.
Is he proud of the man you've become today?
I think a lot of the teachers are,
good.
I think they could see that, deep down I was a little bugger, but yeah, cheeky chappy.
There was potential.
So would you say that you probably went on the thing of going, and I know you're probably, because you play everything down, you're not one to, blow your own trumpet because you're not that flexible.
Yeah.
But would you say that you're kind of, I would say, intellectually gifted compared to other people maybe at Westbourne?
Yeah, I think I was.
You're like upper echelon top sets for stuff naturally rather than because you wanted to work hard and love school.
I would definitely put myself in that category. I was in top English. I sat next to a girl called Terry. Lovely girl, worked her ass off. So can I say it?
Yeah, say whatever you want. You can say whatever
we have a mature audience. You can say anything you like.
Okay. She was the kind of person that really worked her ass off, and I was the kind of guy that didn't turn up late. Played truant quite a lot, and I still managed to do quite well. I think the teachers knew that I could be more if I kind of implemented myself a bit more, but I felt bad for that reason, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it was more the authority of school. It was the being told to do stuff. Most of the trouble I got in were when whether it was a person bullying somebody else or a teacher picking on somebody in class, I'd kind of stand up for things that I didn't think were right, whether it was the right thing or not. Mum and Dad came into school once, actually, because the teacher somebody had written something on the whiteboard that was quite derogatory to our teacher. She picked on a boy who was quite quiet and quite shy, told him to stand up in front of the room, and told him that if he didn't tell her who it was, he was going to get detention. To which I stood up and said, "You're not doing that." Told him not to speak. Got into a big confrontation. Got sent to isolation. Mum and Dad had called it to school. And Dad just said, "No, I agree with him. I don't think you should have done that to this individual, and I'm proud of my son for standing up for him." Which was then a catalyst, because then I knew I had my dad's back. It allowed me to go for the teachers even more. So, it was. I mean, that's kind of more of a hero story that I maybe want to say on the podcast. But I'm not.
No, but you stood up for things that you thought were,
I was also a little bugger, and I smoked and done all the things that I shouldn't be doing at school, got in with the wrong guy.
To be fair, though, this could be, and it'll be interesting as the podcast develops. This could be like the signs of an early entrepreneur. And the only reason that I say that is because I had exactly the same kind of thing at school, where I didn't really care about turning up to lessons. I didn't care about doing homework. If someone said, "You read this out of school," not a hope. And I'd rock up and be top set, and just be able to go, "Yeah, this is fine. School's easy."
Yeah.
Whereas you've got other people working, every bit of homework, every whatever, and struggling to get out of set 3 into set 2. And you kind of feel a little bit like you're guilty about it, but you just go, "School doesn't interest me."
I think that's exactly what it was. School didn't interest me. All I wanted to do was earn some money, get out of there and into the world. And if something doesn't interest me, whether it's a subject or a person, I just haven't got time for it. Life's too short to do things you don't want to do or spend time with people you don't want to be spending time with. So
totally agree.
It was, I mean, how many times have I used Pythagoras' theorem or all of these stupid things that you just haven't? It's funny though, because it's then flipped on its head, where now if I find something interesting, I really like to research it and get deep into it and learn. But basically, I just used to hate learning or being taught. I think it was more being taught.
Yeah.
If it didn't fit the way that I like to learn.
I think for me, it was the same thing, where I always wanted to understand why.
Yes.
So if someone says, "Oh, you need to go along and learn about the Great Fire of London," my answer would always be, "Why? But it's done and it's out."
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, someone left an oven on. Okay, don't leave ovens on. Cheers, lesson learned. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So but if you go along and say, "Oh, by the way, let me go and teach you something that can help you make money," oh, suddenly now I'm all ears and I want to listen to this one.
And that's why, we're not taught about APR. We're not taught about how mortgages work. We're not taught about all of these things that we should be taught about at school that are going to matter in life. We're not taught about all of this dribble and nonsense that just never gets used. And it's a bit of a waste, really. And also, I think it's the way that you learn. I'm quite a visual learner. If I can do something and kind of fail at it and then learn why I've failed, then I can do it again and kind of change it. So, I mean, the perfect example was Terry in English, bless her. In our GCSE years, this is my other problem with school, is it always frustrated me that it wasn't fair. So we had to read a book every half. So over the 2 years, it was 4 books. We had to write an essay on each book, and then we had to do a final book and do an essay on that. I just couldn't read back then. I just had no interest. There was games or PlayStations or football or girls or
something else.
Yeah, exactly. And it got to the end of the 2 years of GCSEs, and my English teacher just said, "James, you haven't read a book, you haven't done one thing, what are we going to do? We need something to give you a grade on." And I just said, "Look, I can't read." I start reading, kind of blagged it and said, as soon as I do, the words all jumble together. I just lose interest. So she said, "Okay, well, here, I'll take this." And she gave me a DVD of Oliver Twist. And said, actually, it was a VHS. Yeah, it makes me feel like.
Oh,
yeah, it was
You've really shown it age now.
Hang on, Jem. Sorry, what's one? No, okay.
What was
We don't
VHS?
need to this.
No, exactly, yeah. If Jem had have asked, I'd have understood.
Yeah, thanks for that.
But she gave me a VHS of Oliver Twist. She said, "Go home, watch this, come back tomorrow." And I literally went back in the next day. She asked me a few questions of it, and I got a B in English. Terry, bless her, who had done every single book. And
Big up, Terry.
She got a C.
Do you know what? Lots of love to Terry.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen her for many, many years. I don't even know. But I think she might be in Australia now. But yeah, it was.
I hope she's like running 4 businesses right now, and Terry's done really well for herself.
Exactly, I do too. But it was more that it's not fair, and because I didn't think it was fair, I couldn't understand it. And when I don't understand something, and I can't change it, it frustrates me, and then it's just almost like, okay, well, I'm done with it.
Okay, so I'm guessing sixth form, A levels you didn't go to?
No, as soon as I could get out of school.
Okay, so now we're going to try this one because I have a sneaking suspicion that this is absolutely winging it. First job wasn't after you left high school, was it?
No, I had a paper round at 13.
There you go. So there was always going to be a way of making money before you left school.
At 13. Yeah. There were a few other money-making incentives. Some that got me in trouble with that.
Some cannot be mentioned.
We won't mention them on the podcast. But yeah, no, my dad owned an estate agency in Ipswich. So I'd done some open house days for him. That was a Saturday job. Kind of wanted to do something off my own back though. 16 went into construction as a labourer just because Dad's friend had a business. I wanted to earn some money.
Yeah.
Realised very quickly, hence when I was talking earlier about making mistakes and then learning from them, I learned very quickly that I wasn't a hands-on kind of guy.
I can't imagine you're in construction.
Exactly,
no, I never
which area of construction were you in?
Like labourer, trenches, the shit.
Yeah.
And I very quickly learned anybody who does that kind of job, my best mate's a builder and hat off to him.
Yeah, so it's a tough job. Yeah.
Becky's, my father-in-law was around last night hanging up a picture for us. That kind of shows how unhands-on I am. Done that to get some money. Quickly realised that wasn't for me. Sat in bed at night thinking maybe I should have applied myself a little bit more at school. Maybe I should have gone to uni. My other thing with that though is I didn't know what I wanted to be. So my cousin wanted to do this, so he went to sixth form because he needed the grades to get into uni to do that particular course. And I kind of wish I had that.
And it's more worrying when other people around you know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah.
And you're kind of in limbo, like, I have no idea what I want to do, where I start.
So my only way to battle that was, okay, well, I've got to go and earn some money because at least then I can, be on the same kind of path as them. They're studying and doing something they want to do. I need to get a bit of a head start here and start.
But again, I think that may just be the entrepreneurial way, because I think it's so easy for people nowadays to have that thought that says, I don't know what I want to do, so I'll sit and think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, but let me just go and take action.
Do it.
Because the action may well be, if you think about it, there must be 10,000 different careers or 10,000 different jobs or industries or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes the smart bet is you're not going to get the right answer until you go and do it. So I think you do it and then you go, I like this part, I don't like this part, and you start to narrow it down.
Yeah.
But when people are sitting there going, should I become a vet? No, but let me think about it until tomorrow. It's like, just go out and do something.
Yeah, and I definitely fall into that bracket because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't just sit there because it took me, 15, 16 years to find my calling in life. So, and I've tried lots of different jobs.
Yeah.
So it was just, throw something into the fan and see which one sticks really.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of my goddaughter, for example, just say, look, it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to do. Get out in the world, get some experience.
Try something,
Exactly that, yeah. And the other thing is my dad always said to me, look, if somebody comes in for an interview and they've got all A stars, but they've got no personality, or somebody comes in with C's and D's, but they've got the gift of the gab, or they've just got a little bit of something about them.
So how did you get a job?
I've walked straight into that. Yeah, I know I should have been more on guard on this podcast.
So we had another person who came up with the phrase of, I walked into a room, and I was surrounded by a whole group of old men.
Okay.
And obviously you thought that one was going to go unnoticed.
Yeah, well, that's one career path I didn't take.
Yeah. Do you know, at some point we'll get the turkey story out on the podcast as well from Jem, and then we'll have another one about being surrounded by men.
I don't know if the podcast is ready for that yet.
I don't think many people are ready for that one.
Yeah, we're going to try and get trending.
All right, this is about James, not me.
Yeah, comment below, #sticky Jem. Right, anyway, let's get back to James. So, okay, so you've tried now being a labourer.
Yeah.
How many? I mean, I don't know whether or not you want to try and we've done on your CV to kind of go, so I did 6 months of this. How many different jobs and things did you try?
Quite a few. Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot, to be fair. I worked at a place in town called Cool Connection.
Okay.
Which
everyone worked at Cool Connection.
Most of the town.
Everyone worked at Cool Connection.
And to be fair, a lot of people. It ended quite badly, as some people know. I was in there at the good stage, at the good days. And, I was 17 and I was earning a lot more money than most 17-year-olds. And, I wish I kind of knew then what I know now when it comes to finance.
Savings and investments.
I mean, just the amount of money that just went in booze or, design clothes, rubbish.
But don't you find the same thing? When you were at 17, 18, and you've got all these people like, the old people, 35 and 40, telling you, oh, you want to get started with a pension, oh, you want to do this, and you think, oh my God, you're so old and you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you get to like 35, 40 and you go, oh, okay. And you start to see all the illustrations that say, if you'd have started this at 18, and you go, oh, if only someone would have told me this. It's like, everyone did. You just weren't ready to listen.
Yeah. Well, shout out to my dad, because he always told me to do bricks and mortar and not pensions.
Okay.
Now I can see, actually, I should have been doing a pension. And all that money that the employer could have been putting in as well. And the compounded interest. I was with a very young entrepreneur a couple of weeks ago, and we both worked out at my age or his age. I think he's 21. If we both wanted $500,000 in our pension at the same age, he had to put £170 in a week, and I had to put 940. It was ridiculous. Yeah, how much the compounded interest can make a difference. So, so worked at Cool Connection. Loved it. We were in kind of the top team, so I was earning a lot of money. We were getting taken to London and all of these treats and stuff. And then it was then, I guess, when my mentality on work changed, because somebody we knew passed away. He was 19 when it happened. Friendly fire. Americans dropped a bomb on him, which was always nice. And it was a horrible time, but it kind of then made me realise, well, life's too short for this.
Yeah.
I'm working in a call centre. I'd only been dating Becky maybe a year. And we both jacked in our job, sold a car.
I remember this story.
Yeah. Went travelling together, which was a bit of a test. But I think 16 years we've been together now.
Mm-hmm.
Married for 4. William, who's 3, and baby number 2 on the way very shortly.
Any day now.
Yeah, any day. So if I do get that phone call, we might have to call this podcast short.
We could probably just kind of have a congratulations now, because I have a sneaking suspicion by the time this goes live, it's going to be
Baby will be here. Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
For listening to this when you listen back.
I'm listening to this probably at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing a feed. Very tired, but thank you.
So how far around the world did you get?
We've done Thailand, Vietnam, and then we went over to New Zealand, got a camper van.
And did that help you disconnect and switch off from...
What it done is it made me realise that I was so worried about being popular.
Yeah.
So when I used to go out clubbing and I wanted to be Roper, I wanted to be this guy.
Can we just point out it's not a problem for him now, right?
No, he loves it now.
It just, and I chased that lifestyle, if you know what I mean. I wanted everybody to know, I want to be popular, I want to be cool. And it just kind of made you realise that it doesn't matter. My circle went from this big to, you can't see the hand signals. You circle streets and you realise actually it's better to have some good close mates than it is to know lots and lots of people.
They say that if you can count your close friends on one hand, you're a very lucky person.
That, and it done 2 things. It made me really frustrated that I wouldn't settle for anything, hence why I then had quite a few jobs, jumping from job to job. But it also then made me realise that I won't spend time with people I don't like, whether that's in business or in my personal life. And I think because of that,
this is why he sees me more than he does you, Nick.
But guess what? Do you remember? We'll circle back fully. Do you remember what he said? Yeah. Actually, you don't care about your circle being big, just good people. Couldn't give a shit. You throw me off with that one. No comment. I like you both equally. But I think that then kind of frustrated me in other jobs where it wasn't what I wanted to do. I thought it was money that I was chasing, and it wasn't. So I was never settled, never really happy. So I guess then I feel even luckier that it just happened. It just kind of fell in my lap. But I mean, I suppose the nice part is we've at least seen building block number 1. So at the moment, we still can't see the career path to going to become a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Except obviously building block number 1, don't care if anyone likes you. That's good. So the first brick's in place.
So it should have been estate agent, car salesman,
accountant.
Podcast host. So it was, I used to care too much if people liked me, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people like you. Just do you, look after yourself and your own. And I think once you do that, it's only then the good people that are around.
Well, and they're there for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think you always find that when you can go along, and there's most people sitting here going, they'll have thousands of LinkedIn connections, they'll have hundreds of Facebook friends.
Yeah.
But you go along and say, oh yeah, guess what? I've just had a death in the family.
Yeah.
And you're going to have less than 10 people ring you.
Yeah. Who if you're in trouble at 2 o'clock in the morning, who are you going to ring?
Who you
Who's going to
calling?
answer the phone?
Yeah.
They're the people that matter. And it's not just that on a deeper level, but it's also who are the people that are going to be, cheering for you and wanting you to do well, because there's not enough of that in this.
But I think that's certainly the thing where you go along and, me and Doris, we've spoken about this many times, where, it's like, oh yeah, it'd be nice to see so-and-so, it'd be nice to see so-and-so. Oh yeah, if we could connect with it, and you think, well, hang on, the more time you want to see these other people, which one has to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Because is it the sacrifice that she and I are going to spend less time together, or we're going to spend less time with our other friends or less time with family? Which one has to give? Because it's a finite amount of time. So suddenly you kind of go, do you know what? Tick the box. We've got the connection. That's fine.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Okay. So we've gone from traveling.
Yeah.
And by the way, is Thailand as awesome as everyone says?
It was.
Okay.
I've heard it's changed. This is.
You mean there were loads of ladyboys and now they're not?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air. Me and Becky went for a joint massage, and we had a very.
Is it like the turkey story?
It's up there.
This is the one where we should say, and you can subscribe to Premium, and we'll have this conversation.
So it's not just me with a massage story.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. There are some parts that are quite touristy.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem we had is we then went to New Zealand, and it was just the most amazing,
stunning,
just the most friendly people in the world. In Thailand, I always had the worry of, what they want money from us, or they're out to screw you over. They're not all like that, and there are some places that are beautiful, but especially in the touristy places.
Yeah.
Whereas New Zealand, just the most amazing people in the world. Just so friendly. Definitely recommend it.
There we go.
So then you came back from travelling.
I worked. My sister had a job at another call centre, and they were looking for an account. Oh well, actually, sorry, no, I set up a business with my dad. I forgot about that. Which was a very random thing. One Christmas, boiler broke down, and Dad's mate, called the gas man, funnily enough, came around to look at it. I think it was either Christmas morning or Christmas Eve morning, and they'd fixed 10 of the boilers this morning. So we've had the same thing, and it's the condensate pipe that goes off the boiler. It drips out a little bit of liquid. So when the temperature drops, it freezes, it blocks up, and the boiler breaks down. So we created a very small thermostat with a bit of heat trace cable on it. So basically, when the temperature drops below 4 degrees, the thermostat kicks in, this cable heats up, keeps the pipe warm.
Mm-hmm.
So we were really excited about that. Dad had his fingers in a few other pies, so it was kind of just me sat at home in the middle of summer trying to sell people cables for your boiler for when it's freezing, which wasn't the easiest thing to do in the world. We even went up to British Gas, actually, and we had a meeting with them in Manchester, pitched it to them, but we didn't have a patent on it. And a couple of months later, they were developing their own one and kind of stole it from us.
No.
Yeah, so how much can I swear? You guys swear? Yeah, fuck you, British Gas. So yeah, it was again another learning in life is if you're going to pitch something like that to a big company, make sure you've got patents sorted and everything's tied up.
So is your dad quite entrepreneurial then?
Very.
Okay.
Yeah, more. I don't class myself as an entrepreneur, funnily enough. I think I'm just lucky and it's fell in my lap. But Dad's had a few businesses, few fingers in pies. So
So you've witnessed and watched that growing up.
Yeah. Definitely. So that didn't work. I then got a job with my little sister was working in a call centre. They were looking for an account manager. So went into that. And it was looking after clients. So it wasn't actually in the call centre, but it was going out, doing presentations, going through all the data, all that kind of stuff, which went really well. But it just it didn't pay very well. But it was a really good experience because it got me face to face with some CFOs, CTOs, directors, which was quite... I kind of thrived off that.
Yeah.
That kind of rapport building and looking after people and I quite enjoyed that. I then moved to a company called KDM, which was a timber importer.
Mm-hmm. Are they the ones up on Ransoms?
Ransoms, yeah, exactly that. So my little sister still works there.
Okay. Who's your little sister, by the way?
Her name's Jasmine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Big up, Jasmine.
Yeah. She's on maternity leave at the moment.
Not as good as Terry, though.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Terry.
Yeah.
I can't call. I'm sure I don't know Terry, but Jasmine's better.
You do know Terry.
You're Terry.
Yeah,
he sat with you in English.
Terry.
Oh, that Terry. Sorry, I thought you were talking about a Terry.
You're Terry.
You're Terry. Yeah, I know Terry. But yeah, Jasmine's still better. But yeah, she's on maternity leave. But she was working there as well. We moved to KDM and I became a timber trader. So we would go over to Sweden, buy timber, import it into the UK, sell it in the UK market. Loved it. brilliant company. My only slight bugbear what it was that I was probably the youngest by quite a bit. You know, everybody else there was only probably 20 of us in the company, and it was a very, very profitable company. And in hindsight, I shouldn't have left. It was a really good career, nice company car, nice, potential career. However, if I hadn't have left, I wouldn't have realised it was a mistake, wouldn't have then left the next job, and this wouldn't have happened. So everything happens for a reason.
You wouldn't be on this podcast.
Yeah, and I'm on this podcast.
Can you imagine that? What do you do, timber trader?
The pinnacle of your,
exactly that.
Pinnacle of your career right now.
Exactly.
Talk about wood.
I mean, it's
back to the Thailand. No, okay, all right.
It's amazing how much money there is in pallet wood and packaging timber. It's crazy. But it was a mistake to leave there. But a friend of mine was a marketing director at a recruitment agency.
Okay.
And he just said, James, you've got to come in. You'll love it. It's like Wolf of Wall Street. There's music on. There's footballs in the office. It's
Hey, it's Sanctuary.
It wasn't Sanctuary. It was Seven.
Okay.
Who I think had some alignment to Sanctuary. I kept saying no. I'm happy here. I've got a good career. Blah blah. I'm happy. Well, just come and have a beer with me and the director, and I did, and they threw some money at me and said, we want to make you the head of the veterinary team and all of this kind of stuff. And I went, and I absolutely hated it.
Okay.
Yeah, I hated it. I love the people I work with. I love the environment. I love the buzz. But I think I realised I shouldn't have left the other place.
Yeah,
it wasn't a career. This was just a quick buck.
And how was the similarities to Wolf of Wall Street?
It was quite Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Hang on, when you say it's quite Wolf of Wall Street, was it like Ipswich version of Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite like there wasn't any midget throwing and
not that bad. Yeah, there was definitely
or drug use to the point of Jordan Belfort drug use.
No comment.
No comment. Moving on.
Yeah, it was a very debaucherous place, shall we say? Yeah.
Okay.
And do you know what? I had a year there. I think it was maybe just under a year, and we went to Barcelona to a vet show. I won a ticket to Real Madrid PSG. Would spend the money and all that kind of stuff in the Champions League. So I got to go do that. I went to Dublin. Went to Cologne in Germany, where we flew in, done a show, flew back the next day. And
it must have been at Kinderjugend or whatever it was, the big exhibition place.
The big exhibition place, yeah. So we went and done all of that. Met some people that I'm still very good friends with today, and we had some really good times. But it was the ethics of the job.
Yeah.
I take my hat off to people that can screw people over for money and sleep well at night.
Yep.
I just, if you can do that, good for you. You're providing for your family. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fulfilling. You can have money, but if you're not helping people, in fact, you're doing the opposite. You've got a square peg in a round hole, and you're trying to just shove it in just to get the commission. It's interesting because I've now got quite a few clients that run recruitment businesses, and that was my only into recruitment. That's all I thought recruitment was. And actually now I can see that if it's done properly,
it's very different.
It's very different. The repeat business and the contracting and the trust that some of these guys get.
Yeah.
It is, if I was in that recruitment industry, I could have done that for a long time, but it just wasn't me, this other one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So left there. What did I do after that? I can't remember. Mine's gone blank.
Okay, but so you've gone from Wolf of Wall Street, Chaos Carnage.
Yes, exactly that. So while I was there,
Ipswich edition.
Yeah, Jordan Belfont.
Yeah.
I'd seen. So there was I was trading timber, and there was a diesel trading company that I'd spoke to a few times, and they tapped me up, and I went over there, and it was great. It was a lovely company to work for. I had a really good team. Made it up to business development manager for the whole of the south. So anything kind of Birmingham down, I would look after. The problem was then is after a couple of years, I'd made it as far up as I could in the company. The next step would be to move to Crewe, which is where the head office was. Crew's a shithole. It's miserable. Sorry to all my friends that still work up there and live up there that probably will listen to this. But
big up Crewe massive.
Yeah, big up the Crewe massive. It was never going to happen. All my friends and family here. It just wasn't going to happen. So I was kind of just a bit like, I went into work, done what needed to be done, closed your laptop at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
There was no investment. There was nothing kind of getting me excited to do it. So I was just still keeping my ear to the ground and seeing what else might be out there. And I mean, this is what was I then? Probably early 30s. So I'd left school at 16. I'm now in my 30s and I'm going, I still don't know.
You still don't know exactly what it
is. And it was a bit of a downer, Thankfully I had my wife Becky and
had you had your son yet?
Becky was pregnant
right
when I left Radius, because that's when the financial advisor role came on.
Right.
So how did that come about? Because this is the thing. Most people will go, I was a financial advisor and I worked for this company, and then I did work for this company.
We haven't actually touched base. We haven't actually been anywhere.
Yeah. Well, this is where, again, I think that everything happens for a reason. So I was at a wedding, and my wife's bridesmaid's husband was there as well, and we've always been good mates, and he's always done very well for himself, and he's done exactly the opposite to me. Got into it years and years ago. He's been a financial advisor for many, many years, set up his own business, and we were just chewing the fat. We were drunk, standing outside, having a chat, and he just said, "How's work?" And I said, "It's all right. I'm just a bit stagnant, a bit stuck in a rut. I've just
won the first bet we had, by the way. Off air, we had a bet that said, wonder if James Roper can go 30 minutes without talking about golf."
Oh, are we there? Wow.
And I haven't mentioned it.
You haven't mentioned golf once. We haven't even, no, not once.
Pay you that point later. Yeah. So we were at this wedding having a beer and both quite drunk, and, as you do, having a bit of a chinwag. And he just said, "How's work?" And I just said, "Yeah, a bit stagnant, a bit stuck in a rut. Not particularly happy, don't know what to do." And he said, "Have you ever thought about doing what I do? I think you'd be great at it." And I said, "I don't know what you do, but I know how much your house costs and I know what car you drive."
I see you're living well. I've tried every other job.
That 13-year-old James Roper still going, "Money? Where can I get this?"
And it definitely piqued my interest. And he just said, "Look, I think you'd be great at it." So shout out to Mike if you're listening. Thank you very much. I'll always be grateful.
Thanks, Mike.
But yeah, he just said, "Look, I think you'd be great. You've got the personable skills, you've got the rapport building, you've got that, which everybody thinks financial advisory is just about money.
Yeah,
it's not that at all. It's about being trusted. It's about, you've still got to know what you're talking about, and you've still got to be able to help people. But that's what you do. You're helping people, and you've got to be trusted."
Yeah.
And he just said, "I think you'd be great at it. So can I make an introduction?" And I said, "Yeah, why not? I've got nothing to lose." Next thing you know, I've quit my job. I'm studying, doing the 2-year diploma.
Wow.
I've gone self-employed for the first time ever with a 6-month-old child.
And this time you liked studying. You enjoyed this study?
Yeah, I did enjoy it because it was
something you wanted.
I could see the potential.
Yeah.
It was tough after 16 years of not studying to get back into it. And they are very in-depth and miserable exams. Especially a lot of it is just not what you do day to day. Again, a bit frustrated about the exams there, because a lot of it as well is read this material, do an exam on it, and it's more about your memory.
Yeah.
Rather than it being a real
an ability.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah. So again, it was more of a means to an end. I didn't particularly like the exams, but I could see the potential afterwards. But yeah, Mike introduced me to St James's Place, and it was kind of the missing piece of the puzzle, really. I'd been looking at setting something up myself. I'd even registered on Company's House, I'd registered Flow Transport, and I thought I was going to set up a transport company. Okay. I thought I had the links in with the diesel trading that I'd been doing. We were near Felixstowe, so geographically it was a perfect example. My cousin owns quite a big shipping company down at Felixstowe, so I thought, let's do that. I'd thought about, or toyed with setting up a recruitment agency, because I thought maybe I can do it the right way, but also there's some good money to be made. And if I'm completely honest with you, I was just too scared to do it alone. So I'd been saving up a little bit of money with a view to hopefully, when I go solo, when I do something myself, I've got a little bit of cash reserve behind me, which was handy. But yeah, so James's Place came along, and it just seemed like the missing piece of the puzzle. They said, "Look, we'll help you through your exams, we'll help you study, we'll help you set up the business, we'll help you with the website, we'll help you with everything." And essentially, you run your own business. You do what you want when you want to do it. You just use our systems, use our portfolios, and we help you with the kind of the back end of stuff. I did just bite the hand off straight away. I wanted to see what else was in the market. And I spoke to a few others, and the more I looked into it, the better the deal was, and the better the potential was, and the better the opportunities were. So, bit the bullet, took the plunge, quit my job.
And you've been doing that now for?
I've been nearly 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, business was set up 3 years ago.
I was going to say, because I'm sure, do you not remember? I'm guessing you would have been at that breakfast, but I remember James standing up at one of our networking breakfasts. And he stood up and said, "Yeah, hi, I'm James, and I've just started
on my own,
JWR Financial Solutions." And everyone gave you a round of applause to having the balls to go and do it.
I said something along the lines of, "I'm shitting my pants." Yeah. And then it's funny because you actually called me aside, and I remember that day very well because you kind of pulled me aside and said, "Look, you'll be fine. You'll be great at this. I've only met you once, so I know you're going to be okay."
Yeah.
And I actually put you in a presentation that I'd done a couple of years later.
And he wasn't there.
Yeah, you didn't turn up to. So
you featured in James's presentation.
I featured in Chris
shouldn't even be asked to come to the presentation.
But that was surreal. So yeah,
you weren't photoshopped and naked like you probably were in Chris Jenner's
many times. Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember that very, very vividly actually. And it's amazing. I kind of threw myself straight in. I actually really enjoy networking. I like to see what other people are doing. I like to just meet people. I think you can then meet people and see the ones that you want to spend more time with or that you're going to get something from. So I really threw myself into the networking scene when I set the business up. And it was just lovely. Yes, people that you've never met before, Nick being a perfect example, just give you that support.
Yeah.
Which never stopped. It wasn't just a throwaway comment of you're going to be fine, you can do
this. But I think that's the nice thing that when you go along and find other entrepreneurs and people who have set stuff up, not many people will ever understand that fear of going, you're just going to go and do it.
Yeah.
And you go, right, but how's my mortgage going to get paid? And you go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. It's probably, you have no doubt had the same with Becky that I had with Doris, where it was a case of, look, just go and do it. I believe in you.
I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't.
And you can't do it without that.
She was definitely again, I was probably still too scared even with St. James's Place of support, but yeah, she was the one who said, look, I believe in you, you can do it. What's the worst that can happen? Let's go and give it a try. You're employable. There'll be other jobs out there. If the worst comes, you've got some money saved up, so we've got the mortgage covered for a year. So
I mean, literally, we were at the same thing where we just went, look, if it all goes horrible, we kind of had like a cut-off, and the cut-off was we could sell the house, like liquidate everything and go to zero. But that was okay. That was what we were prepared to do. So we went, if that all happens, we go to zero, we start again, we go again. But we're just going to go and give us a go. And I'm guessing, you obviously went, I've got these savings. If the savings dwindle, I just go get a job, and it wasn't for me.
Sold the nice car and got a banger and just, lived on very small rations for the year and really cut down on all our spending.
So clearly he's doing all right now because he didn't pull up here in a banger.
Yeah.
He pulled up here in a nice car.
Yeah.
So it's gone from strength to strength. It
was, again, I just think, I'm not religious, but I believe in karma. I think if you do, good things happen to you.
Yeah.
I've always believed in that. And I was just lucky to be at that wedding with Mike having a chat, and he was in the frame of mind to go, actually, I think you can do this. You've still got
How drunk was he, by the way?
Yeah, pretty drunk.
Yeah, okay. Can you imagine the Westbourne boy playing truant going along and saying, oh yeah, hi, I've got 5 million, how do I invest it? And I'm going to James Roper with it.
Yeah. Most of my clients don't know I'm the Westbourne boy, but
they do now.
They do now. Yeah, exactly that.
But it's a bit like accountants. I mean, people are trusting you with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And money they don't know what they're doing with. It's just sitting there. A bit like when people come to us, it's personal stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to have that relationship. You have to build up that trust.
You've got to be trusted.
Yeah.
And the problem is that a lot of the time, people will go along and, generationally, you'll have people that go, the safest place for my money is under the mattress.
Yeah.
And to try and explain to them, no, invest it in this.
Yeah.
Or then you have people going, no, it's safest in a bank account.
Yeah.
And you've got someone saying, well, no, why don't you try stocks and shares ISA? And then within the first 30 days, there's a minus 2% movement that you then have to take that phone call.
And they're on
with
the phone.
Someone going, you said it was going to do this. You said. Yeah.
Luckily, I got into this just after COVID, so it's been going up. Yeah, so it's given me a good, a good head start.
Well, hang on, but Trump had a good go at it, though.
Trump had a good go at it, and I had a couple of phone calls, and then I quickly put a proactive email out to all my clients, just saying, look, this happens.
Mhm.
We're not panicking. You shouldn't panic. Put a load of stats and loads of data, and had quite a few emails and calls just saying actually we were starting to panic, but that really makes sense.
That reassurance itself. Yeah.
Reassurance, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know the same thing in The Big Short and The Wolf of Wall Street? And no, yeah, all my investments have gone. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't panic. We're good.
Exactly that.
But yeah,
So,
but these ones obviously are real investments, right?
real investments, yeah. And like
Yeah.
I say, it is a lot of money, and I still kind of pinch myself. I look at the portfolio that I manage, and I just go, "How on earth how are you doing?"
Hang on a second. Can we ask?
How is it with James Roper?
Are we allowed to ask? Like, is it more than 10 million?
It is.
Yeah. Can you imagine James Roper responsible? For
I
more than 10 million?
know.
Yeah, it's and it's nice because we can see each month. I can see what I manage and who I manage it for, and what it's invested in, and how it's growing. And you've got an overall number.
But this is the thing. I think when you go along and you kind of it's easy to sort of now see it and kind of go, look, you've got the Westbourne guy, you've got the guy who's truant, you've got this, and you think, how on earth? But you also, when you get to know James and you go, I understand how people would trust him, and I understand his ethics are there to say.
And you can see now, just him sitting, the passion is there.
Yeah.
You can just feel it.
He's always just going to go along and go, but it's the right thing.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable because I'm doing the right thing for you. And I'm able to go along and give you that return.
Yeah.
I just need your trust.
It's lovely. But,
So Jordan Belfort.
You get that reassurance. So for example, I lost a client last year, husband and wife. The husband passed away, and it was horrible. I've only known them a couple of years, but really get on well with them. And I just helped with probate and things that aren't even in my remit.
Yeah.
Just tried to help that situation and move the funds from him to her. So maybe a month and a half ago, she said, look, I'd like you to come to London, meet my son. I'd like to introduce you to my son. I'd like to set something up for my son because of how you looked after me when my husband died. When I passed away, I want you to do the same for him. And it just makes you realise, well, this is why we do.
It's why you're doing it.
You're actually helping people. It's lovely. It's the reason why
you've definitely found your calling in life.
I think so. Yeah,
we're there now.
That's the other nice thing is I didn't know it was going to be it.
Yeah.
It's the first time ever in my life, at nearly 36, where I've gone, this is me for life. I love this. This is the freedom and the flexibility it gives me. But also the relationship, the people that are now clients or the people that I'm bringing on as clients, they'll be clients for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
I'll look after them. I'll look after their parents. I'll look after their children. Their
generations
siblings.
on. Yeah.
And they also almost become friends.
Yeah.
And it's.
But it means it doesn't have to be work, right?
This is what I was getting at. Yeah. It's weird, and I still don't like saying it out loud, but it doesn't feel like work. I mean, when you're doing financial reports at 10 o'clock at night,
when you've got to do the admin side of it.
Yeah, it feels
you're
like
working.
But the day-to-day work, and
come on then, hang on a second. He wants to get in there. Well, all we need, James, is we're gonna just nail this down, right?
Okay.
Only because I'm gonna wrap him up really quickly before he starts going on about golf, because we'll have we'll get James Roper the golfer on another time.
Can I just say we don't call it golf in my household? It's golf, which is golf work.
Oh, okay. Of course it is. So that's just his way of justifying it, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
What's your current handicap on the golf course?
14.
Thank you. Right, that's it. And literally, I don't have to say anything more because we'll start him off. James, thank you so much for coming to see us.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute
It really has.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, James.
And do you know what? This was probably one of the most, for me, and this is a personal thing rather than anything else.
Yeah.
My most anticipated one that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And it's exceeded all expectations.
Has it? Well, thank you very much.
So,
when I got the call, I was privileged, and I can't believe how quick it's gone, actually. But yeah, thanks for having me. Really
that's amazing.
It.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
What do you think? About 20 minutes, half an hour? Everyone says that.
Whoa, that's weird when you take them off for the first time and you hear real life again.